My name is Hartley Day Godoy, and you're listening to Wake Up with Wonder podcast, where my daddy shares with you the gift of wonder.
Wow. If you guys didn't know, that was my lovely daughter Hartley recording a beautiful introduction for the most wondrous podcast on iTunes, Apple, Google, Spotify, all the main platforms. I am your host, Jason B. Godoy, and my intention with the Wake Up with Wonder podcast is to awaken the childlike curiosity inside of all of us and to help us see that we have all the wonder that we need to make a difference in the world with inside of us. So today's episode is number 68. I do realize that I was kind of mixing up my episode numbers for a little bit, but we're back on point. This is episode 68, titled The Wonder of Now. I'm sure you've heard of the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Very similar. This is The Wonder of Now. So if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, I did share a journal prompt in my story today. And I'm going to start sharing daily journal prompts for you guys. Just quick 5-minute, one question journal prompts. Today's prompt was something about looking back in 1 year and what do you know to be true now that wasn't 1 year ago. And then the point behind that prompt was that the power of appreciation comes from our ability to look back in life. And there's a fine line between looking back and being stuck in the past and being overwhelmed or shameful or guilt and ultimately carrying that shame and guilt and overwhelm into the future, and between being able to be in the now and experience all the power that is in the present moment. If you guys haven't followed me on Instagram, I would say go over to @JasonB Godoy Instagram. Check out my stories. Not only did I share the prompt, not only did I share the principle, not only did I share my experience of where I was at in life this time last year, I shared with you guys a screenshot of my journal entry from this time last year where I talk about how chaotic and how crazy in my life was and how I was actually a little bit depressed. But that's the power of doing the fucking work, which we had talked about in yesterday's episode number 67. I don't even know what it was called. Oh, I wonder if you're doing the work. But yeah, the power of doing the work. I've been doing the work for a whole year, and my life definitely feels, at least for me, unrecognizable. So today's episode 68, The Wonder of Now. This all came about from online coaching training that I was a part of. And I've known this. I've lived this principle that I'm going to teach you. But it finally hit home hard. It finally made sense, finally clicked. And I finally understood why I'm doing it and the importance behind it. And I think once we understand the why, then everything just falls into place. So today's principle is kings and queens create and victims wait. Kings or queens create. Kings or queens create and victims wait. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say that. But essentially, so we have all the power inside of us that we need to create light in every area of our life. If you want to be a king or if you want to be a queen, we can choose to do so. We can choose to create light, to create whatever we need to create in our life, and to stop fucking waiting. I do believe in God, but I also believe in the voice inside of us, the voice of intuition that comes from that internal, that divine source energy within us. And I had talked about the source energy 2 episodes ago, episode 66, I Wonder If You Primal Dance. And I talk about how primal dance is a tool to foster and birth and connect with that source energy inside of ourselves. Speaking of connection, the episode before The Wonder of Primal Dance, episode 65, was The Wonder of Interconnection. And I talked about how interconnection is more important than connection. And that's another way to connect to that source energy from the primal dance. So if you haven't been listening, I highly suggest go back and catching up on those last 2 or 3 episodes. I wasn't even planning on them tying in together, but somehow, some way, the universe knows what it's doing, and everything is fitting in and falling into place. So what I was talking about was, in Scripture, God says, there's one scripture in Genesis where he says, let there be light, and so there was light. And essentially, that is the power that we have, ladies and gentlemen. We have the power to just say, in any area of our life, let there be light. And we can bring light into every single area of our life. I'm not kidding with you. Like, believe it or not, it's possible. I've lived it the past year. So, basically, if you guys don't know, when we get stuck in the past, there's guilt that's associated with the past. There's anger that's associated with the past. There's shame that's associated with the past. And there can be sometimes rage that's associated with the past. 1 year ago, I was shared in my journal entry today, I felt like my life was chaotic. It was miserable. It was out of control. I was sad. I felt depressed. I felt like I had no purpose. I had nothing to live for. The little purpose that I had, my children, I felt like, or I believed that I was going to lose custody of them to their mom. And from experiencing those feelings and sitting with them and acting on them and using them to empower myself in that moment, in that present moment, at that time, it was today, not now, but at that time, I ended up doing the work, and I ended up getting 50% custody of my kids. At that time, I was actually one error away from getting fired at work. Now I'm in good standing at work. I'm working on building a Wonders and Friends community to help support others and help others create light in their life. And the only way I was able to do that is by letting go of the past, letting go of that shame, letting go of that anger, letting go of that guilt, letting go of that rage. Those feelings are toxic, guys and girls. When we have those feelings, I don't know how to explain it, but I do know how to explain it, but essentially we feel overwhelmed by all of those feelings, right? You have so much chaos going on in your life. You have all these negative feelings that we can't experience the now, the power of now, the wonder of now, because we're carrying those feelings literally into tomorrow. So we take these feelings from yesterday and we feel so overwhelmed about them. And then we start thinking about, instead of thinking about today and what's happening today and the action I can take today to deal with these feelings that I have, I started thinking about tomorrow and all the stuff I have to do tomorrow and all the stuff that will make my tomorrow better. But as I start thinking about the stuff for tomorrow, I'm carrying over these feelings of anger, of shame, of guilt, of rage. You can carry them over to tomorrow. And when they get carried over to tomorrow, now tomorrow becomes overwhelming. And now we don't want to think about tomorrow. So now, because we're sitting in today, stuck in the past, not able to let go of shit, and we start thinking about tomorrow, we're completely overwhelmed, and that's what leads to sedation. I'll be completely honest with you guys. This is the first week that I've gone without smoking weed one time. And it feels pretty damn good. And I think it was all because I had this revelation. And sedation doesn't come in just weed. Sedation comes in many forms. It comes in drinking. It comes in Netflix. It comes in sleeping and being lazy. It comes in so many ways. But for me, it was drinking, smoking, just not being present in the now. Whatever I can do to not be present in the now. And don't get me wrong, I was still doing work. I was still doing my master's program. I was still doing homework. But it was all from a place of sedation. So I was losing power. I was leaching out and giving up my power in the now because I was overwhelmed by tomorrow, which came from not being able to let go of yesterday. So that's it, guys. What area of your life are you still carrying some guilt and shame? Are you still carrying some anger? Do you still have rage from the past? If you've been through a breakup, if you've been through a divorce, there might be some guilt, some shame, some anger, some rage associated with it. If you've lost custody of your children, if you weren't there for somebody in their moment of need, there's all these negative feelings associated with it. And we carry that into the tomorrow, and it robs us of our today. I hope that I'm getting this message clear to you guys, because it took me a whole fucking year to really understand this concept. And I understood it a year ago, which is why I started taking action and I started doing the work. But first off, it was messy action. There was no structure, no planning behind it, no strategy whatsoever. And second off, apart from it being messy action, it was weak action. It wasn't from a place of power, a place of certainty. It was more so from a place of, this is what I think I have to do. I'm just going to do whatever I think I got to do to get by. But when you can let go of the past, when we can let go of the past, and we can live in the now, because all that really fucking matters is now. Tomorrow's Friday, if you're listening to this on Thursday. And I don't even know what tomorrow's going to bring, other than the fact that I know I have to go to work. But I mean, tomorrow's not even promised. So it's all about the now. And that goes back to the principle that kings and queens create and victims wait. So if you're waiting until tomorrow to create whatever the fuck you want to create, maybe you want to create a deeply connected, prosperous relationship. Maybe you want to create a partner, a spouse who is on fire, who is unlocked sexually. It's not going to happen if you're living in the past. It's not going to happen if you're thinking about tomorrow. That is something that needs to be created now. Maybe you want to create a business. Same thing. When I wanted to create the Wonders and Friends community, if I'm being completely honest, I started like 3 months ago, and I was so future orientated. I was so far thinking ahead that I became overwhelmed, and it was messy action. There was no strategy, and I was not showing up from a place of power and a place of certainty, because I wasn't living in the now with the community. I was always thinking about, okay, what's going to happen at the end of the week? How am I going to plan this week out? It's all about the now. And you know what's funny is the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. That was like one of the first personal development, one of the first self-help books I ever read. And I want to say I read it in like maybe 6th grade. Yeah, 6th grade, 7th grade. And yeah, I had no clue what it meant. I had no clue what I was reading. I could not grasp the concept at all. I thought it was just some fluffy bullshit. If I'm being honest, I should probably go back and listen to the book again. I should probably go back and read the book again. But I don't think I have to, because I understand this concept right here that I'm trying to teach you guys. And this is essentially what the book talks about, is that we have all the power now that we need to bring light into our life, to fill our life with light. So if you guys want tools, if you guys want resources to make this happen, I have various journal prompts and templates. I have the tools that will help you to let go of the past. I have the tools that will help you to rid yourself of those feelings of guilt and shame. I've used these tools myself to remove the guilt, the shame, the anger, and the rage from the past. And from there, I was able to not feel so overwhelmed. I was able to not focus on the tomorrow, on the future. The reason I thought I was going to lose custody of my kids is because I didn't see a way in the future where I can be a better man, where I could be the man that I needed to be in order to have custody of my children. I didn't see a way that I can have a place for them to live. I didn't see a way that I could stop smoking weed and stop drinking and doing stuff so that I can be the best dad possible for my kids. But through those tools, I was able to rid those negative feelings, and slowly, it's not easy, slowly but surely get myself from a place of yesterday, from a place of tomorrow, to a place of today. So what area in your life, whether it's, I'm going to go back to the W's because I talked about the 4 wheels of wonder in the harmonic balance episode, and I would like to continue with that. So what area of your life is it? Is it wisdom, your relationships with people? Is it worth, your connection to your divine source energy, to your spirit? Is it your wealth, your business, your career? Or is it your wellness, your fitness, and your health? What area of your life can you let go of any feelings of the past? I carried so much fucking guilt and shame and just negative feelings around being overweight as a child. I weighed 140 pounds in 3rd grade, and I carried those feelings for a long ass time, even into adulthood. I carried those feelings, and it prevented me from loving my body, loving myself, and just being happy with the way I could show up. So what area of your life, wealth, wellness, wisdom, or worth, are you carrying feelings from the past, anger, shame, guilt, rage, and these feelings are causing you to feel overwhelmed, and it's transitioning into your tomorrow, and your tomorrow is being clouded by these feelings, these negative feelings? What area is that happening? And it's robbing you from the power of now, the wonder of now, the ability to be present in the moment and not leach out any power today. That's all I have for you guys. I truly hope you guys found value in this episode. Like I said, go back and check out the last 3 or 4 episodes. They really do kind of stack and compound on top of each other. They really tie into today's episode somehow. You'll see and you'll hear once you listen. If you guys have any questions, if you guys would like to try these tools out for yourself, these journal entries, these journal prompts, just send me a direct message on Instagram or on Facebook, or even email me at Jason B. Godoy. The email is jasonbgodoy@outlook.com. And I will be more than happy to share the tools with you to help you release any negative feelings of the past, to stop clouding your future judgment, to stop worrying about the future, and to experience the power, the wonder of now. That's it, guys. You know where to find me. Please continue leaving the reviews on Apple Podcasts. They help us spread the gift of wonder to those who need it the most. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to the show. If you're a new listener, thank you for being here. You were definitely brought here for a purpose, and I would truly love to connect with you. Please reach out. Don't hesitate. Don't be afraid. All we have is now. The time to reach out is now. And if you're a returning listener, once again, I appreciate your support. So honored that you guys continue to show up, that you guys are finding value in these episodes. So grateful for you. I hear you. I see you. And I truthfully, my absolute favorite part about this whole podcast is just connecting with the listeners. So whether you're new or returning, reach out. Don't be afraid. Reach out now on Facebook, on Instagram at Jason B. Godoy, or you can even reach out in the reviews. If you leave a review and your name is in the review, whether it was the person who wrote the review or whether you actually write your name in the review, I will track you down and I will find you and I will connect with you, because that's how much I enjoy, that's how much I love, and I believe in the power of connection and interconnection. So thank you guys so much once again. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and just remember, you are the wonder that you want to see in the world. So go out and make that shit happen. Take care, guys.